Thank you for tuning in to another episode here on the Weekend Warriors podcast. We are very happy to be joined by Mckeever Dahlberg, the newest co-angler of the year down in the National Series for Walleye in the States. How's it going?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Not too bad at all. Happy to have you on here. Been talking to you a little bit there before the tournament and whatnot, and me and Brandon figured, I guess even if things didn't go the way they did turn out, it'd be awesome to have you on here. And just so happened that you managed to pull that out last weekend, eh?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a fun weekend.
Yeah,
Just
I don't doubt that. Oh, sorry.
what?
I said, oh, sorry. I accidentally
Cool.
interrupted you there.
Very good. Um, I fished with Drake Hurd, who also got Angler of the Year, too. So that was pretty cool. We were both in third, so we got paired up together. So
Oh, nice. That works out pretty
yeah.
well. Sweet. Yeah, did you have something to say there, Brandon? I thought you were about to say something. No? I thought you were about to open your mouth. No worries. I could cut all that out. So I guess what we may as well get right into. First, I kind of wanted to look at, I guess, the tournament last weekend and how that's determined. But I think we don't really have as much of like a co-angler program up here as much for our tournaments. We did just have Brandon participate in it, one of the first pro-ams. So they kind of partnered up amateurs with the pros that were fishing at the last Mountain Fall Walleye Classic. And I think if people listened to the last episode there, I think people quite enjoyed it. Brandon said he had a good time and lots of chance to learn, right? So you basically have an entire season that you get to go out and go with different pros. Is that how it works?
Yeah. So we get paired up. So it's every Thursday and Friday, basically the last weekend or the week of the month.
Okay.
So we get paired up with our first pro at the rules meeting. Then we go fish, and then that counts. So we're basically on a team, and then we go out, we go to the weigh-ins, and then we get paired with our second day guy, and then
Okay.
so it's like
Gotcha.
I'm going against the co's, the pros are going against the pros, but after the first day, we're not on a team anymore.
Oh, okay. I thought you guys were I thought it was you got partnered up with that pro and you're with them all weekend. So that
No.
really changes up things then.
Yeah,
Hey?
it does. Yeah.
So is it kind of, I guess is it kind of luck of the draw as well? I guess when you are as a co-angler going out with those pros.
Yeah. I don't know. It's half and half, kinda, because
Okay.
I mean, if you get a good pro and a good co and put them together, I mean, it's total advantage, but it helps a lot if your co is good too.
Right.
Especially at like netting or even catching fish, because like people just do it for fun, just to go out and
Hmm.
have fun, and some people don't are out there to learn and
Right.
stuff. So, well, I am too, but
Yeah.
um,
Out there to perform, I guess,
yeah,
based on the co-angler of the year. But
yeah. Um, but it's, I don't know, I wouldn't say the luck of the draw.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess that was one of the things I seen a lot on Facebook. There was lots of guys commenting like how, I guess like you said, some guys are just out there for fun, right? So
Yeah.
maybe that could end up being a burden on the pro. But kind of the thing that was consistent in lots of what I read is that and Keith said it too when we interviewed him, like it's not like you were a burden. It was, if anything, it was more of a positive to have you there, right?
Yeah.
So I guess like you said, some guys out there for fun and some out there to learn as well. But
Hmm.
I think for sure that probably be, I guess, the best learning opportunity you're going to get, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Totally is. I mean, you get paired up with one of the best walleye anglers in the world, so you
Hmm.
get to learn from him. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's take a spin backwards here. So I know Logan mentioned that you're the newest co-angler of the year down there in the NWT. But maybe some of our listeners aren't aware you are one of the youngest co-anglers of the years, are you not? You're fairly young,
Yeah.
and this was your first year, correct?
Yeah. My first year in the National Walleye Tour, so that makes
Why don't
me.
do you mind giving us just kind of like a rundown of your whole season, kind of like if this is your first season, so kind of what were you feeling at your first tournament? Like, did you have specific goals in mind, what you wanted to achieve at that first tournament? And then you realize, hey, like I'm pretty darn good at this. Like I have a shot if I keep competing here at that co-angler. Like at what point in the season were you like, I have a chance at co-angler of the year?
Yeah. Well, the start of the tournament, I was kind of nervous because the first day I think I was in 72nd place or something. And then the second day, I jumped to 10th and then fell back to 16th with the other people had to weigh in. So I finished 16th. Yeah. And then I was like, okay. And then we went to Green Bay and then I got 26th. It was only a 1-day tournament because day 2 was a wind day and it was like Memorial Day, so you couldn't. The Wisconsin law is like you can't have a tournament on a holiday weekend, so we only could have 1 day. And then I was in, I think that's when I was in first. It was after this. What? Yeah, no, after the third tournament. After the third tournament, I was in first. And so, and then I was like, okay, yeah, I have a chance at winning this. So I went to the 4th tournament in Mobridge, South Dakota. Didn't do very good there. Dropped only down to 3rd.
Yeah.
And then that's when I was like, I'm still in it. I can still win it. And so I went to the championship and I won it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
The rest is history. So is that 5? History. Is that 5 or 6 tournaments?
It's 5. Counting the championship, yeah.
Right. Okay, yeah, that's pretty sweet. So how does that point system work? Is it just based on how you place and then that gets you points, or?
Yeah, so it's like so it matters on weight, limit, and placings. So if you catch 3 fish and it won't count as many points. I'm not really sure how they do it, but it's better to get a 5 limit fish, like 5 bag limit.
Yeah.
5?
Yeah,
5 limit. I don't even know how to say it, but
a 5 fish limit?
Yeah, 5 fish limit.
There you go. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Because that helps a lot more.
Yes.
Yeah,
no, so you want to get your 5 fish instead of having like a 3 bag with a decent weight. You want to make sure you're bringing in a full bag.
Yep, exactly.
And that makes sense. But yeah, like I mean, Logan was telling me that you didn't even stick around. He said that he was talking to you and you had headed home, or you just didn't think you had a shot, or what? You didn't stick around.
So someone came up to me day 2 and said I was in 5th place, or I mean not. I was 5 points ahead. And so that means if that guy zeros, I thought that if that guy zeros, then I have a chance of winning, but the person behind me, he was going out day 3 because he made top 10 and I didn't. I finished out 12th.
Yep.
And so he went out day 3 and I was like, well, there's no way he's going to zero no one zeroed that's placed top 10. So I just kind of left, and then I figured out that I was up by 5 points, so he would have to place 5th or better, I think.
Okay.
So I was up by 5 places. And so after I realized that, I was like, well, shoot. I was like... And then I was watching on weigh-ins, and then he's like, it's a really close one with the co-angler of the year. We'll have to get back. And then he said Mckeever, and I was like, of course. I left, and
of course I'm not there anymore.
Yeah.
Well, so did I see it correctly? You were, I guess John's big with them too, but with the aqua traction, you were getting that put in the boat when you found out.
Yeah. So those guys are super cool. I met them last month. Actually, we scanned my boat, and then we've been really good buddies since. So I was putting in my boat.
Good place to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think it's funny that you found that out, just like because I was kind of watching on the stories, and I had seen that you had something about not qualifying and how it was like a good run kind of thing like that. Mm-hmm. And then I'm checking stories, and I'm like, what is this? And then it just shows putting in the floor, and then all of a sudden it's like you just stunned. It's like, what just happened? It's like I just won Co-Angler of the Year.
I was shocked. Yeah, I only won by 2 points. So if you would have placed two places higher, then I wouldn't have got it. So
Yeah.
Right down to the nitty gritty.
yeah, it was.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess, like Brian said, kind of take it back to kind of understand that more. I think it would be good. We usually do it at the start, but we kind of got into things quick here. Like, I guess, kind of, where are you from? You said you were telling us before that you just turned 19.
Yeah.
Like, where are you from? And kind of, how'd you get into, I guess, where you are today with fishing and whatnot?
Yeah, so I'm 19. I'm from Billings, Montana. So I not this year, but I used to fish the Montana circuit. It's like, I don't know, I think it's 6 or 7 tournaments, and you go around, and then they have like a team of the year and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I was like, well, kind of want to make it bigger and go on over with the big guys. So I did that, and then that's how I ended up here.
That's it up there. So
Yeah.
that's fair.
You make it sound so simple. Oh my god. Yeah, like it's crazy. Like I was reading an article and I sent it to Logan one day, or was that even? I think it was even this morning.
Yeah.
It was an article about you. It was written maybe like 2 months ago. So like leading up to the championship tournament, and it was like a little article about yourself and your dad, and
Yeah.
it was like how Mckeever grew up fishing and he wanted to go take on the tournament circuit. And in the article, it said that your dad was like, yeah, for sure, let's do it. Maybe you can do 1 or 2 tournaments. And you were just like, no, Dad, like, I'm doing all of them. Like, I'm going to win this. Like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do them all, or I'm not going to do it at all.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was pretty cool. Like, and your dad, too, is right. He was just like, okay, I guess we're doing them all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I thought that was pretty cool. Like, you know what you wanted to do is either all in or all out. And, just that whole mindset, and it really paid off for you this whole season. To me, I found that super cool. It kind of was like I don't know, kind of like a dream season. I think we talked about that when we interviewed John. John had that one spectacular year, and we called it the dream season. And I don't know, this is just your first one, and I guess your first one's your dream season so far.
Yeah. Next year should be fun. I'm going to go pro next year, so next year's schedules, it's the Detroit River in March, end of March, so it'll be kind of cold.
Yeah.
That time of year is perfect. So there will be a lot of big legs. And then we go to Chamberlain, South Dakota. We were there last year, or this year, too.
Yeah.
And that one will be fun. And then we go to Prairie du Chien in Wisconsin on the Mississippi River.
Okay.
And then we go to Marinette, I think. Or else those two are swapped around. But we go to Green Bay. And then the championship's on Lake Erie in Dunkirk, New York. So that'll be a long haul for me.
Boy.
Yeah.
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 Well, that's what you were saying when I was talking to you. Like 20 hours of driving isn't much for you, because you're talking about how you wanted to fish last mountain, and it's like, oh, that's hardly any of a drive for me. Like the miles you guys must have put on, right?
Yeah. So like that's like 34 hours or something for me. So that's a long time.
So how does that work? Do you pre-fish for like a week before, or like as a co-angler right now? Are you there for the pre-fish or a lot of that, or just a couple days?
Yeah, so I went down a week before every tournament to pre-fish with the next bike crew, like Tommy Akimos and Chase Parsons and Keith Cavias and Gary Parsons.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun. I got to learn a lot from them. And then next year I'm teaming up with Matt Schiffenbein.
Not John Hoyer, though, eh?
No. No, he was on a different team.
You gotta stay away from
okay.
that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so next year I'm teaming up with Billy Atkinson. He's from Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. And then Matt Schiffenbein. And then I'm not sure where he's from, but he did CoAngler this year too with us.
So are they around your age, or?
Yeah, Matt's 21 and Billy is 18, I think, too.
Well, I think Keith mentioned Billy
Yeah, he
in
did.
that near the end of that episode. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that'll be the young guns out there ripping
yeah.
around, eh?
Oh,
We're gonna go for it.
crazy. Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So,
that'd be
okay,
awesome.
so you when you say you're transitioning to pro, for people that are listening, so you were co-angler this year,
Yep.
and you're transitioning to be the pro next year. So when you're on the boat, you'll have a co-angler with you. But what does that process look like? When can you consider yourself pro? Is there certain standards, a certain card, or what do you need to do to consider yourself the pro now and not just co-angler?
There's no really. I mean, I guess you could do it whenever you want, but I mean,
Okay.
I'm pretty confident, so I think that's why I'm gonna go pro, and I have the opportunity to team up with good people. So, and so like,
Gotcha.
yeah, like next year, Billy knows Green Bay and Detroit, and then so all of us kind of know. Like he lives only like 5 hours away from Detroit River, and so he knows some spots for there, and then he knows spots for Green Bay too as well. He goes over there sometimes too. But the only
Gotcha.
place
Yeah,
what's that?
I just wasn't sure if because you won co-angler of the year, if you got the opportunity to transition to pro, or if any co-angler,
No,
even if they didn't, even if they didn't place, they could still transition to the pro side, right?
Yeah, anybody can transition to it.
Gotcha.
So I guess that'd be kind of like with if I'm understanding this correctly, it's just like anyone can enter, say, the Last Mountain Fall Walleye Classic, and then I guess they're running their own boat. I don't know if you would actually call them a pro, but technically they're fishing that tournament, right? So
Yeah.
is it like can anyone enter as a pro, or do you have to have done a co-angler, or can you just be like, hey, I want to do this, and then just go and do it?
No, yeah, you can just go full pro, but
Okay.
I didn't want to do
Not the
that.
best idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, get your feet wet a little bit first.
Yeah.
Question for you.
Yeah.
So, say you're pro next year, and you have a co-angler in there with you. With you going through the whole process this year, having the year you did, having the learning curves, and going from 70th to 10th to 1st to 3rd to having all the jumps and all the emotions and still pulling it out of the bag at the end. What is some advice that you would give maybe a young co-angler that's going to be that gets paired up with you one day?
I mean, you never know with other. I mean, you could have a good day or a bad day, and you can jump 100 places a day. If all of them that are ahead of you could do bad, and you can jump up to them. So I don't know. Just to learn lots from taking as much advice as you can from those pros, because they know what the heck they're doing. So
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's one thing, just talking to you now, this is the first time we've talked, I guess, as face to face as this can be. I guess funny story, when I asked you if you wanted to come on, you're like, well, my passport just expired, so
yeah,
I
I thought you
can't
said
come up there.
I thought you said the pond, so I thought you meant Lost Mountain. So
Oh, okay.
I didn't. I know. I looked at that today, and I was like,
No, I thought you thought just because most of the big ones, like a Joe Rogan or like a Meat Eater podcast, those are all in person for the most part, right? So I thought
Yeah.
you thought yeah, coming up here, fly you up to do the pot, and I was like, we haven't made it that big yet, but I was like, no, we'll just do it online here. But I think that's one thing, I guess going back to what I was saying earlier, is just talking to you now face to face as much as we are. I think a big thing is being even keel, right? You don't seem to really get nervous, or maybe not too many ups, too many downs. You kind of stay even keel, hey?
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I think that it's pretty crazy when kind of you were kind of explaining how you got to be where you are now, and Brian's just simple as that, right?
Yeah.
And for someone who maybe doesn't know as much, like I'm thinking, like there's probably so many things you had to do to eventually end up going pro and ending up in the co-angler there and all these things. And it's like, oh, no, I just kind of wanted to do it, so I did it. And that's the part that I find really cool, because there might be other people, I guess most of them would probably be around your age, that are like, how can I get into it, right?
Yeah.
No,
Actually,
sure.
I just heard right before we hopped on here. Actually, the Vanity Cup. So that Mckeever, that's I don't know if you've heard of it. It's probably the biggest tournament here in Saskatchewan.
I think it is.
It's up north at Tobin Lake in Saskatchewan here, and they just posted they had a couple teams back out, so they're looking to fill 2 spots. And
Really?
Logan, I was gonna mention to you, it's a pretty doozy entry fee. I think it's like $1,500 or $1,000 or something. So that's similar to your tournament entry fees down there. I think you were saying it's like $2,000 or $2,500.
Yeah.
It's these tournaments.
That's
aren't
US
cheap.
though.
That's yeah.
It's like 5K Canadian.
Yeah, Mckeever, you can come up here, fish the Vanity for like $5.
$100,000 on the line.
But I just noticed. So there's 2 spots open for the Vanity, which is I guess pretty cool, right? Anybody could hop online right now and register, and just noticed that. But like we were saying right before we started recording too, I think here at Diefenbaker in Saskatchewan, there was a 34.5-inch long walleye caught here.
That's crazy.
That's pretty big. Like, what's the biggest walleye, just off the record here? What's the biggest walleye that you've caught there, Mckeever?
So the biggest one is 34 that I've caught. And
Okay, was that in a tournament?
No, that was just for fun.
Oh,
but
okay.
it was skinny. I didn't weigh it though, but I caught one over in the Columbia River in Washington. That was 16.28 pounds. That was 33.5 inches. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, those are supposed
That's
to
a
be
big
huge
fish.
in there, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
and are they invasive there? Like, isn't there like a no limit on them there or something?
Yeah, they want them out of there.
Jeez,
Yeah.
You got a fishery like that? That's crazy.
I know. I don't want them.
I guess
they're huge
no.
in there.
Is there any tournament circuits through there?
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
When I was down there in February, there was one actually the weekend that we were down there. So. Yeah.
So I guess one thing that some people might be wondering is how do you schedule all this? Like how does it work out that you're able to go pre-fish for a week? I think it said in that article that you just graduated this year, correct?
And just finished high school, yeah.
Yeah.
So like how do you figure that out? Like do you work throughout the summer, or you got a good boss?
Yeah, I work at Shields Outfitters.
Okay.
I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah.
But,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I lived in North Dakota for 2 years.
Oh, you did?
I know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome over there. They give me the schedule that I request off for the NWT.
Okay.
So that's how
Are they one of your sponsors or something?
Yeah, next year they will be.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that's a pretty handy employer you got there for the career path that you're choosing. So
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah. So is this going to be like I guess you said the first tournament's in March, correct?
Yeah, end of March.
Okay.
It's
So is there
31st.
things that you Okay. So
Yeah.
is there things you could be doing like tournament wise during the winter, or is that like kind of off season for you?
Kinda. I mean, I don't have to. It's kind of off season, but I could. I mean, start looking at
he's training.
I could start like looking at the maps and stuff to see like where the structure is and stuff, because I've never been over there, so I'd
Right,
have to study a map for a little bit, but I don't have to do that till later.
True. I think that's the nice thing about with lots of those lakes in the States. Like you guys have so many mapped.
Yeah.
I think the only one mapped in Saskatchewan right now that you can get on a chip is Lake of the Prairies, if I'm correct.
Because it's part of the Manitoba.
Yeah, because Manitoba has like a Lake Master chip, I think. But yeah, because we've got like Last Mountain, you got Tobin, and you got Diefenbaker, and those would all be beauty to have mapped out.
Big
right?
fish producers. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's nice that you can literally just go, and I guess you're also fishing pretty popular bodies of water as well, right? But you can go and look those up and study it quite well. Like lots of us here use an auto chart, and we're kind of relying on that. There is some other ones like websites and stuff that you can kind of use, but that would definitely be a huge advantage to prepping for those tournaments, right?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So with winter being your off season, you're from Montana. You obviously ice fish, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite fish? What's your favorite fish to chase on hard water?
I know people won't like to hear this, but burbot.
Hey, that's my favorite species.
That is Logan's favorite. No, I was curious if you were gonna have the same answer as Hoyer. He said he just loves to chase perch.
Oh, really?
During
Yeah,
hard
that
water
is
season.
pretty.
Yeah.
That's fun too. Yeah. Once you get in a school of them, it's like, it's awesome.
You guys got
Isn't that
big
great?
burb down there too.
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't that crazy? All these professional walleye anglers love just chasing burbot and perch.
You got to
In the
turn
hard
things
water
around a
season.
bit. They do that for half the year, so. So walleye, your favorite fish to target, I guess overall.
Yeah, it
Birds
is.
have to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've seen on your, I don't know if it was on your Facebook or Instagram, but definitely like you've got was some paddlefish. Was that like a long time ago?
Yeah, that was
Oh.
last summer. That
Oh,
was,
okay,
that was
so
this,
recent.
well, like this summer. But
Right.
That's one thing I wish I would have did when I lived in North Dakota.
yeah, they're fun.
Is that where they
Oh
are?
my god.
No, they're in the Missouri River too. Like right
Yeah.
when it goes into Fort Peck. I don't know if you know where that is.
Well, I was about to ask you if you fish Fort Peck because we actually, it's kind of funny to think about. We have lots of good lake trout fishing in whether it's Sask or Alberta or Manitoba, but the closest lake trout lake to me and Brandon is actually Fort Peck, and no one
Oh, it
thinks to
is?
go south. Yeah,
Really?
it's only about 4 or 5 hours away from us, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the closest to us, but it has huge lakers in there, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They're in like the funnest is jig 'em. And
Yeah.
in like 100 feet of water in the summertime. There's like schools of like 20 of them, and you just reel as fast as you can, and they just absolutely hammer the jig.
Chase.
Yeah.
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 No,
that's-
that'd be fun because there's tons of species in there as well, right?
Yeah,
Other than
there's-
just lakers.
Yeah, there's everything you can ever imagine. Sturgeon, paddle. I saw a paddlefish on my side scan, or down imaging actually, and it was like so clear that you could see the bill and like the eyes and stuff. It was crazy.
Huh.
That's
Yeah, that'd be
nuts.
pretty impressive.
Yeah. How big was the paddlefish you caught, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, it was only like 22 pounds, but that was my.
okay.
It was funny because I just pulled up on the riverbank, and all these guys were sitting there casting for like, they go up there for like a week, and they've been doing it for a week, and casting like 500 to 1,000 times a day, and not catching anything. And on my third cast, I hook into it, and all of them were like just shaking their head, like, "What the hell?"
So is that, I've seen some videos before when they're jigging them, I believe, and it's just like a big piece of lead with some hooks. Is that what you were using there, or is there different
Yeah,
ways to
so-
target them?
Yeah, so they, it's like you draw a tag. So it's
Yeah,
like
you need to separate.
yeah, it's like a harvest tag, but then you automatically, if you draw for a tag, you automatically get a snag and release. So you get to snag them and then release them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a little different than anything we have up here. And I guess for people that haven't seen one before, I'd suggest looking it up right now. They are out of this world different than most of the fish that you'd see, right? Like that big
Yeah.
paddle on them and their mouths.
Yeah.
I could. Do they put up a pretty good fight too?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
They get freaking big.
Yeah, they do.
They get huge.
Yeah, I think the world record was caught this summer too, like 198 pounds or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like three
Like,
people.
yeah, they're. Yeah, like I mean, it's kind of similar to like when we had Eves on Logan, and talking about sturgeon, how big those get.
Yeah.
Like these paddlefish get big.
Well, and they don't get too long. They just become like a boulder. It looks like
Yeah.
right? Like
they get fat.
though we get long enough, yeah, they get really fat. Like they just
Yeah.
round up like crazy.
Yeah.
But I guess that's
That's
kind
all.
of a
That's all.
niche market there for
Yeah,
paddlefish fishing. But
that's on my bucket list. I want to go back down there and
Yeah.
get one of them
You guys need to come to-
paddlefish.
You guys need to come to Fort Peck, too.
we'll take you to
Well,
Last Mountain.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
Then I'll take you to Fort Peck.
yeah, we might be getting the better end of the deal here. Yeah,
That's all
no,
right.
for sure. Well, actually, we could hook you up with Lane, who we've had on the podcast twice here. He guides out at Last Mountain
Yeah.
with his outfitters
Oh,
there,
really?
and they do quite well. They seem to be pulling out big fish pretty regularly out of there.
Sweet.
That's I guess his home lake too. But yeah, lots of 30 inches and above, and just a good time. He's got a very nice boat actually. If you're looking for a new boat, I don't know if you are, but
Yeah.
very nice Alumacraft for sale. But I guess one of we can kind of get back to the walleye a bit.
Yeah.
We've talked to John and Keith about stuff. Like Keith really likes the shiver minnows. John had some kind of new ways that he had been working on targeting them that Keith touched on as well. But I guess if you had to choose one method when you're out there, what are you going to, if that's not too much to ask when you're, I guess, going pro next year? But
So like last weekend we did a jig and a sucker minnow, and I think that's the most fun. I mean
that's the juice.
yeah, I like it because you're fishing in like 4 to 6 feet of water, even 8
Yeah.
feet of water, and you're just casting it everywhere, and they just on the drop you just feel that thump, and it's just fun. Same with shiver minnows though too. You feel that thump too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think jigs are one
Yeah.
of the most overlooked things.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone just thinks, oh, it's just a jig. There's so many fancy things out here to try. Like everyone's just so fixated on trying something new, but a lot of times just a jig is so
Yeah.
you need. But see, we can't use live minnows up here, so
We can.
it's jig and a leech.
We got our
Oh,
tough
really?
here.
Jig and a leech or a frozen minnow.
Really?
Yeah, you can use
Yeah.
dead minnows and I guess commercially frozen minnows according to the
Commercially
regulations.
frozen.
But
Yeah.
with no live stuff here. I think Manitoba you can have live. I believe that might be changing. I think though, or there was talk about it, but I think Ontario you can too. But yeah, West I don't think Alberta you can, and I don't think in BC you can either. So lots of places in BC you can't even use bait actually. So
Really? Jeez.
yeah, that'd be a
Yeah,
little different. But
it's a different world down there. Like when I lived down there, it was so weird going to the gas station and scooping up a bag of live minnows.
Yeah, I
and
know.
then going fishing and now like I have to take frozen minnows or a little bit of leeches. But yeah, it's a different world down there. You guys have so many options as far as like, different types of minnows. And
Yeah.
just the diversity of your baits are a lot more than what we have up here. So
Yeah.
So are these lakes that you're fishing like lots of what we're doing? It's lots of like break lines and stuff like that. Are these deeper lakes that you guys are fishing, or are they more like I know John had kind of talked about like typical like mud bath kind of lakes down there? But are these deeper lakes or is it kind of more flats?
Yeah, so like Lake Oahe in South Dakota that we went to, the 4th stop, that was deep. We were fishing deep for those.
Mm-hmm.
We were fishing like anywhere from 40 or 30 to 80 feet.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then all the other ones like Erie, we were fishing 50 feet, and then like Green Bay, we were fishing. Well, I was fishing like 8 feet or 10 feet of water.
Right.
trolling.
And I guess it depends on the time of year and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess for the people listening, like we always talk on here with, I guess for lots of us with catch and release, a lot of guys here won't go over that 30 foot, right, with like the barotrauma and stuff. But I think it's also different in the States, like especially in the Great Lakes. Like you kind of have to do that, right? Like you see that, I've seen that a lot on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. You kind of don't have a choice. Like lots of guys using dipsy divers and stuff like that for walleye. So some people might have perked up when they heard that at the start there, but it's just different down there, I guess. Eh?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and then we have I don't know if you've ever heard of the like fizz needle kind of thing, the method. Yeah. So that's what we do, but we try to save them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that is kind of, that's like a, I don't even know how to explain it. Like when we just had Doug Kramer on, who runs the Last Mountain Fall Walleye Classic, and we were kind of talking to him. He's like, yeah, I don't really have an opinion either way on it. Some guys love it, some guys hate it, right? And it's, but I guess you're doing what you can, and if people have seen it work, then I guess you may as well use it, right? Like whatever you can do to help that fish. But
Yeah.
that's something that I haven't seen at least much up here, but I know exactly what you're talking about there.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, we are, how far? We're about 40 minutes in here, and we did have some questions. Was there anything else that you wanted to get into before the questions, Brandon?
Not really. I think we covered a little bit of everything, yeah, you obviously had a fantastic year. We touched on that, and we touched on a couple other things. I think it'd be definitely interesting to have you on, next season after your first year pro, and talk a little bit more about your experiences with that. But like, as far as right now, I mean, there's not much else. You're just a young stud, just going pro.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, it's been fun to watch, and not obviously not knowing you and just been watching it over the last couple of weeks. I was like, oh, that's pretty sweet. Like I was happy for you to see that it turned out that way, and even with how humble you were when you thought that you hadn't won it, and you're like, it was a great season, stuff like that and whatnot, and thinking about going pro or whatever, and then I guess that's what you get. That's some good karma for being humble about it and ending up like that. But I guess before we got into the questions that some people asked on Facebook and Instagram, I wanted to kind of just some baseline stuff. Like, what are you running for, I guess, a boat and whatnot?
So, well, right now I have a Lund 219 glass boat, but next year I'll be running a ZV21.
Okay.
Nitro.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nitro's a big name down there, hey?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's usually either Nitro or Ranger. That's what people usually run. Yeah.
I guess on those bigger lakes too, that big water, you want a boat like that, right?
Yeah. That's why I'm getting a big boat, because we're going to go to Green Bay, and it gets pretty nasty there, and Lake Erie too, so.
Yeah, and I think that's different. Like up here, you see lots of Lund. I'd say Lund and Alumacraft are kind of the two that you see a lot. But
Alumacraft, is pretty big.
Yeah, but it's, I guess, probably different lakes too. Like the size of some of those lakes compared to you. Like Deep's a big lake, and that gets rocking and rolling pretty good. But when you start to, lots of ours are part of river systems or whatnot, right? So they do get big, but they're still a bit skinnier. But when you get into those lakes that are like a bowl and whatnot, that doesn't take much for those lakes to really roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess the other thing I want to know is what was your favorite tournament that you participated in this year?
Probably Lake Erie, because I never trolled in like 50 feet of water with planer boards before, and we were just catching fish like every rod was going, and it was fun. We were catching.
So are those suspended, or are those right near bottom?
No, they're usually, they're like halfway off the bottom, and then most of them are on the bottom. But we put one for halfway and then on the bottom too.
Right. Okay. Cool. Well, that's enough of my questions. We'll hop in here. Did you want to start off with one, Brandon?
Yeah. I'm assuming that there's a couple people that you put it on your story too, so there's probably some people that know you. And do you know Will Larson?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, he's my one of my best friends.
Yeah, no, he's just curious. He wants to know when you're taking him out walleye fishing, or if you're too big for him now.
No, I'm not too big for him. He needs to come down to Fort Peck.
There you go.
Fort Peck.
Yeah.
Multi-species
Okay.
day.
Yeah.
Fort Peck. We gotta go down to Fort Peck now.
Yeah, you guys too. Yeah.
Are the borders
Logan,
open?
Mark it on your calendar. They're open for us.
Oh, just for us? We can fly down there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we could look big time driving or flying down there with our rods and everything.
Yeah.
Like what are these guys doing? But I guess another one here from past guest John Hoyer. This is the one we kind of alluded to it before we were recording here, but he asked, what is your 40 time?
40 time. That's funny. 40 meter, is he asking?
That's what I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah, that I don't even know. It was funny because in the last weekend we fished together. Well, during Prefish, me, him, and Kimos, and so the water was so low that 2 people couldn't get in the boat, like, because me and John backed him Kimos off, and then we went up, and he's like, I hopped in the truck, and then he's like, what are you doing in here? Are you looking for a race or what? And I was like, of course. And so we went to go park the truck, and we raced down to the dock, and it was funny because we raced, and then he's like, dang, you're fast, and like I beat him, and then at dinner that night, Chase Parsons was like, or John was like, Chase, you need to race Keeve, and Chase was like, oh yeah, I'll kick his butt and stuff like that, and so we bet. So there's like $170 on the line, and so we raced 40 meters.
Easy money.
Yeah, we raced 40 meters, and I beat him. So John got $170 from me. So that's kind of the story. That's kind of the funny story.
And you won nothing. And you won nothing?
Yeah.
How does that work?
I don't know.
Oh, you gotta. I think John ripped you off there, man.
Yeah, he did.
Well, and John didn't want to race you for that $170 after that.
No.
He'd probably want to play you on the golf course. All his hashtag not fishing stories.
He said he did.
Hashtag not fishing.
Yeah. I think
okay. This is a question that I had. Was there a point throughout the season where you kind of got caught in the moment? You had to stop and be like, holy shit! Like, pinch yourself. Like, you're living this. Like, you're fishing these pro tournaments. You're up on the leaderboards. Like, was there a moment where you're like, wow, like this is real life?
Yeah. I would say like the first hour of the first day ever.
Yeah.
I was doing that to myself. And I was like, geez, I'm actually fishing the National Walleye Tour, like the biggest tour in the U.S. for walleye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wasn't too sure, like, if it, for me, I could only imagine, right? Like,
yeah.
And you're only 19, so, or you were only 18 probably when you fished that first tournament, right?
18.
So,
Yep.
I mean, you're young, right? So you're fishing with all these guys with a ton of experience, and like, yeah, I don't know. I was just sitting around today thinking about it. I was like, man, I wonder if there was like one moment where you're just like, holy crap, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, at least you got it out of the way right at the start, and then it's just it's just cold as ice the rest of the way. Hey, you got over that quick.
Yeah.
I guess I think we probably have another one here. Do you have a buddy, Connor Clancy?
Oh yeah. He lives in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Okay,
I was with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That you were with him when you found out?
No, I was. Well,
Okay.
I hung out with him I was with him yesterday, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he asked who your 2 favorite high school kids from North Dakota are. I figured he'd probably make the list there. Yeah. No, for sure. And then I think there's this one might be good. It kind of talks about this one was from Facebook, and it was actually on the one that you ended up sharing, but it kind of talks about when I was mentioning earlier, like how you get paired up with different pros, right?
Yeah.
This one kind of goes around like who, I guess bring to light who you were paired with, kind of thing. The question was basically asking like who were I think he said the 10 pros that were lucky enough to fish with you, kind of thing.
Yeah. So, first day I fished with a local guy from Chamberlain, South Dakota, Sam Schumann.
Okay.
And then I fished with Tim Abraham the second day, and that's where he made the top 40 too. So he was at the last tournament, the championship. So it was pretty fun. I've never fished in a tiller before, and he had the tiller, so
Oh yeah,
it was a fun experience too.
for sure.
Those are popular around here too.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I
bet.
want for my next boat.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Logan wants.
Maybe not the most like comfortable like conditions wise, like weather and stuff like that, but I've got my rain suit. I'm ready for that kind of thing. I just like
Yeah.
the whole like open floor plan kind of thing. Lots of
Yeah.
room to
Yeah,
run
there is.
around and stuff.
Yeah.
So anybody listening in Saskatchewan, if you have a tiller for sale, hit up Logan Leslie. He's got money ready to go.
Logan Leslie?
Logan Lewis.
I guess.
I have a buddy
I don't
named Logan. I have a buddy named Logan Leslie. They're very interchangeable. So
I'll take it because I probably won't be able to actually buy the boat. If it's a good deal, we'll see. Take out a loan before I actually buy a house. Get a nice boat before I buy a house. But anyways, sidetrack. On to, so it was that you mentioned 2 of the pros?
Yeah, so that
So
was
far?
that finished off Chamberlain, the first tournament, and then second tournament was in Green Bay on Sturgeon Bay.
Okay.
So that was the 1-day tournament. So I fished with Mike Sell. He was from South Dakota. He's a really cool guy. We did good there. I think we got 26th place.
Okay.
And then Lake Erie, I fished with Roy Vivian. He's on the Lund Pro staff team.
Oh, nice.
He's a pretty cool guy. We did really good. We were in 6th place after day 1.
Well, that's who was in that picture
Nice.
that I put up
Yeah.
with the story, correct?
Yeah.
Sorry, Roy.
Yeah.
I didn't know who it was who to tag in there. if you're listening. But I see that in the comment there.
And then Ed, he is a local guy from Lake Erie too.
Okay.
So he knew all the secret spots. So
That worked out pretty good for you then, eh?
Yep. And then we go to Mobridge. Mobridge. That was Craig Sleeman. He's from New York. So we had a long haul there to South Dakota. No, he was a good guy. He was fun to fish with. And then it was Jeff Gottbrett. I was supposed to fish with Gary Parsons, but he got sick that tournament. So Jeff was a local guide that filled in for him so I could fish too. So that worked
works out
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I fished with Drake Hurd. He got Angler of the Year too. Well, at Ottertail.
Right.
And then Greg Eli. He was from Bismarck, North Dakota too, and he's actually born in Billings, so we got along good where I'm from.
No, for sure.
got on real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I think that was Craig Teal that asked. He said who are the 11 pros at each event that he was lucky enough to draw with.
Yeah.
So I guess some recognition there for those guys because obviously they make that thing happen as well too, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no, for sure. I think the thing I find crazy is like I know guys put on hours to drive to tournaments and stuff around here. I know like Manitoba, Alberta guys come into the tournaments here, but some of those hours that it sounds like that those pros are putting on for the NWT sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like
This-
20 plus
20,
hours.
30.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dedicated. It's worth it. But
Yeah.
I guess another one for me here to end it off. I think because I think we got to most of them. There is if you're not fishing, what are you doing outside of that? I'm sure it takes up a lot of your time. But when you're not fishing, what are you doing?
I hunt. So
Yeah.
I hunt pheasants, and then my grandpa has all this land, so we have a bunch of birds, and we have whitetail and mule deer and elk and bear. So he has everything. So that's what I like
So
to do.
Shields is perfect for you.
Yeah.
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 No, that's sweet. Well, I guess that's what we were saying before we were recording there. Based on the stories, it looked like you were planning on going on a goose hunt the next morning, like
Yeah.
the morning after you found out, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of back to life as usual, and then you found out you won the Angler of the Year there.
Yeah.
No, that works out. That works out well. Well,
Yeah.
pretty well had you for an hour here. That's kind of the length we typically go, but thank you very much for coming on.
Hey,
I'm sure
thanks
it's
for
been a
having me,
busy.
guys.
No problem at all. It's been nice getting to talk to you, get to know you, and I'm sure you've had a busy last couple, I guess, week or whatever there. So we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come and sit down with us two yahoos and talk a little bit of fishing.
You bet. Thank you. You guys,
Yeah, no, we wish you all the best in your off season. get lots of training done and chase lots of burbot. But yeah, no, we definitely look forward to following, you know, through your pro career and, you know, kicking off next season, and hopefully you can get another championship under your belt next year. That'd be something for sure, eh?
Yeah, it would. That's my goal.
Yeah, that's a good goal to have. Dream,
Yeah.
Start up big, right? And,
Yeah.
and I guess if people wanted to follow that along, where can they find you to follow along?
Instagram, it's the Mckeever, and then my Facebook's just Mckeever Dahlberg.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Perfect.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
we'll drop those down in the show notes too. So
Cool.
anybody listening, if you want to go toss Mckeever a follow on